What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Axom. My name is Junior, and today we're doing our Nintendo news recap episode. So let's get started. So, as with most weeks, we have a bunch of news for you guys. So let's just go ahead and jump into some hardware news with a new gaming headphones. Pre-orders are now available for anyone looking to purchase a gaming headset for their Nintendo Switch. This is coming from PDP, and these are the PDP Gaming Level 40 wired stereo headsets. And not only do they sound amazing, they also look amazing. It's designed to match the original Switch red and blue Joy-Con colors, so that looks pretty cool if you still have those Joy-Cons. This is also a great complement to that PDP controller we mentioned a few weeks back, the Afterglow Deluxe Plus controller that provides an input for headphones. So this is all wired, the controller's wired, the headphones are wired, but together they complement each other since you can control the audio from the controller, as well as change the colors if you like that RGB look. So check them out and pre-order if you're in the market for some new gaming headsets. And speaking of pro style controllers, our friends over at PowerA are bringing an officially licensed Witcher 3 pro style wireless controller just in time for the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt release. The controller not only looks amazing with the Witcher 3 engravings and the red D-pad that makes it really stand out. I'm kind of liking this thing, but it also includes Bluetooth 5.0, motion controls, and 2 mappable buttons on the back for full gaming. For anyone picking up Witcher 3 who might not have a pro controller or just doesn't want to play on the Joy-Cons for better ergonomics and everything, look to pick this one up. It definitely looks good and is officially licensed by Nintendo and CD Projekt Red. And in our last piece of hardware news, we have a brand new handheld being announced. So fans of the original Game Boy that are looking for an updated version, it's time to rejoice. It's finally coming. Gaming console maker Analog is making an updated Game Boy style system, not actual Game Boy, called the Analog Pocket. The handheld looks sleek. I mean, this is a beautiful console here. And it's also the same height wise as the original one. It'll come in both matte black and white, and on the front there's a D-pad with 4 action buttons instead of the original 2, as well as 2 shoulder buttons on the back where the cartridges go. It includes speakers, 3.5mm headphone jack. It says 2 USB ports, Bluetooth, and it'll use USB-C type charging. The resolution is 1440 by 1600, and it's a 3.5-inch LTPS LCD display, so all of the Game Boy games are gonna look amazing on the screen. The console, like I mentioned, will play Game Boy games, but it also plays Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance, and from my understanding it'll be any game from those series. You can play it on this system. But in addition, it will include Sega Game Gear games, Neo Geo Pocket, and Atari Lynx games too. But for those, you will need an additional add-on, and the resolution will be a little bit different and skewed. This thing should be releasing in 2020 and sold for $200. And then additionally, there will also be a dock available with no price given. You'll be able to dock the handheld and output video to an external display, which is pretty cool. And I'm just gonna say this is a must buy for me. I recently got back into playing my original Game Boy with Tetris and Super Mario Land and Pokemon Blue. So having it handheld, once again, a little bit sleeker and smaller, and not having to carry 8 or 4 batteries in my pocket all the time, this is a must have here. Okay, let's move over to software news, and we have a Blizzardgate here. The release of Overwatch Legendary Edition this week on the Switch was supposed to be a major event for Nintendo, and unfortunately we are getting one of the most hectic times for this release to come out. One of the most popular first-person shooters is coming to the lovely Nintendo console, and Blizzard Entertainment and Nintendo even had an event scheduled in New York to announce the release. This was going to be a big fanfare. Fans would be able to purchase the game and even meet voice actors behind their favorite characters. That event has since been canceled after a huge amount of backlash coming from the gaming community after several missteps actually from Blizzard, which are not gamers are now calling for boycotting not only Overwatch but Blizzard games and their up and coming event, the BlizzCon. It was definitely weird to see so much negative press within such a short period of time, and this is not a good time for Nintendo to be releasing this game and hyping it up with so much backlash. So for the most part, Nintendo has stayed quiet and out of the way, only mentioning that the event was canceled and then apologizing for it, obviously, but pushing that over to Blizzard for any comments. The marketing for it has dropped. There wasn't any real going on, and now rumors are actually circulating that Nintendo customers can reach out to Nintendo customer service, and we'll get refunds for purchases or pre-orders of Overwatch on the Switch. Those are just rumors. You can test it out if you pre-ordered it or purchased it to see if you can get a refund if you're boycotting Blizzard, but it's there. They're basically trying to distance themselves from all of this craziness, so it's definitely understood.
Artists let you get creative with your attacks.
Okay, let's move away from that negative stuff to some more positive news here. We may be getting some more Kirby games, guys. We're now seeing job listings over at HAL Laboratory, the developer of Kirby games. The new job listings are pointing to a brand new Kirby game coming from the Kirby Star series. We'll have to wait and see if this is a sequel to Kirby Star Allies that came out last year. Now, I enjoyed that game, especially with 4-player local co-op. It's way more fun than playing with computers, so let's hope we get another one really soon. Even better would be if they switch from that 2.5D platforming to a full 3D version, like we mentioned in our previous video on games that should make the jump from 2D to 3D. Check that video out, comment on it. We still want to see what your thoughts are on games that Nintendo should bring over to full 3D.
Artists let you get creative with your attacks.
And what seems like every week we have more Smash Bros news. A new limited time tournament has started, and this is the battle for heavyweights, and it's starting October 17th at 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and ends October 20th at 11 p.m. This is that ultimate battle for the big hitters in Smash Bros, including some of my favorite characters to play with, like Donkey Kong, King K. Rool, King Dedede, Bowser, and Ganon. See how far you can advance in the tournament. The further you go, obviously the better the rewards, so get ready to take on some of the biggest hitters in Smash Bros. And what would be a news episode without more rumors on Smash Bros. Next character? Like most weeks, we have more speculation on the next Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC character. Last time the reports were mentioning Geno, but now we're also talking about the possibility of Ryu Hayabusa from the Ninja Gaiden series being the final fighter in the Challenger Pack after Terry Bogard in November. So the rumors also state that the final fighter will be releasing this year, which would most likely put it in December. Terry Bogard will be November. This one, hopefully, Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden in December. So I can't wait to completely fill out this new roster. And even though there's still more to come afterwards, it's good to speculate and get these out here. So fingers crossed. I think Ryu Hayabusa would be a good addition, but then again, I also think Gino would be as well. And in our final bit of gaming news is giant Pokemon announcement was made. We got a bunch of new Gigantamax Pokemon forms revealed by Game Freak in a new trailer. Now, for everyone to know, Gigantamaxing is that thing that changes the size of the Pokemon, their power and appearance throughout. And it also, it's only temporary, but it also allows them to use new powerful G-Max moves. According to Nintendo and Game Freak, only certain species of Pokemon can Gigantamax. But as of this week, we now know 4 more additional Pokemon that we can add to that list. And those are the Gigantamax versions of Pikachu, Eevee, Meowth, Butterfree, and Charizard. So the first one here was the Gigantamax version of Pikachu, and his electric type attacks will change to a G-Max Volt Crash, which deals huge amount of damage, as well as paralyzes all opponents on the field. So that's a pretty powerful move to have there. For anyone that has play records or save data from Let's Go Pikachu on their system, you will receive a special Pikachu that can Gigantamax on release. The next one is Gigantamax version of Eevee, which has a luxurious, huge ball of fur around its neck now, and has the powerful G-Max Cuddle move. It will cause damage, of course, to the enemy, but also infatuate any Pokemon on the opposing team of the opposite gender. So those opposite gender Pokemons on the other team will fall in love and won't attack. And just like Pikachu, a special version is available for anyone that has saved data from Let's Go Eevee. Next up is the Gigantamax version of Meowth, who has his body stretched and looks like the Alolan version of Executor. This time he has a giant coin on his head and will unleash G-Max Gold Rush move, which deals damage to the opponents and drops coins all over the arena. This will give trainers a cash bonus at the end of the battle. To receive Meowth, the version that can Gigantamax, all you need to do is pre-purchase the game before release. And then finally is the Gigantamax version of Butterfree, which is the bug type. All of his bug type moves will change to G-Max Befuddle. This will damage the opponents and shoot out scales, and those scales, depending on where they land and who they hit, will cause the Pokemon to be poisoned, paralyzed, or fall asleep. And lastly, but the most cool one so far, is the Gigantamax version of Charizard, which now has fires coming out of his mouth, horns, shoulders, and tail. Charizard's fire type moves will change to G-Max Wildfire, which causes fire damage and will continue to do so for 4 turns to any Pokemon that isn't a fire type. Okay everyone, if you liked the video, make sure to give us a thumbs up. It really does help us out. We also encourage you to subscribe to our channel and possibly consider supporting us through Patreon. And lastly, make sure to let us know in the comment section your thoughts on a brand new Kirby game in the Star series, and if you're considering picking up the Analog Pocket, that ultra cool looking Game Boy. But for myself and the entire Axom team, we thank you for your support and hope to see you in the next one. Take care everyone.